Hello and welcome to The Hero Spouse. I'm Kendra Ruth, here to answer one of your questions about marriage and midlife crisis. Today we have an anonymous female left behind and forward-moving spouse with a bomb drop of May 4th, 2019 and a date of marriage of 1993. She has an off and on who is a high-energy replayer. She says, observing this play out for almost 3.5 years now, there's a pattern. All good with the alienator for a few months, then break up by her. Split last few months, then all great again. I met him a few times mid-June of this year. They'd been split up for a few weeks at this stage. The last meetup didn't go so well. I could see the depression in him and his quick anger. This is new. It appeared and he blocked me. He texted me on our anniversary saying he didn't forget the day. We texted all day and he seemed happy to engage. He texted the following day, too, and then nothing. I contacted him 2 weeks later, and I could feel the change in him. I could tell she was back, and they were currently on holidays together. He's very depressed when she's around. When she's not around, does he see her as an answer to his depression? She's the dominant one in the relationship. If she keeps deciding to indulge him when it suits her, will it ever end? Will he ever see through her? And why did he contact me on our anniversary? I'm so confused. Is it really her he wants? I think you know the answer to some of this. No, it's not her he wants. As seeing her as an answer to his depression, maybe. That it might be that. It's that the limerence or whatever is going on can help him cover up the depression, mask it, just like alcohol can. Does that mean she's good for him? I think you and I both know the answer to that. She's not good for him. She's controlling, and she's the one who keeps stringing him along and breaking it up with him, stringing him along. So in other words, look at a trauma bond type of relationship. I don't know if that's what's going on, but you have the good parts where you hook them in and you get the chemicals going and the addiction. And then the trauma part, she breaks up with him. But then she comes back and she hooks him in. The love bombing goes on. So is there a pattern of trauma bonding? I don't know, but that could be something that might be going on, or some other pattern that's similar to a trauma bonding where it might not be that extensive as there is in an abuse cycle. And what might be happening though is this is keeping him depressed. It feels like it's an answer to his depression when he's in the middle of this. But from the outside, we can see that it's keeping him depressed because to get to the other side, you have to go through stuff that he's avoiding because she's keeping him in this masking of the depression and then for a little while out. Now, what is going to stop it? He is. That's what has to stop it. You can talk to him. You can be there when he is available to you. If that's okay with you. In other words, if you can handle it. I know that it's been wearing on you a lot with this over these years. So do what you can. But if you can and when you can, talk to him with grace, with compassion. Work on building a base of empathy so that he feels safe like you get him. And he's safe with you. And then that you believe in him. And then when he goes away, you just let that happen. And you can even say, I want you to know, even when we're not in contact, I believe in you. I know you're what a wonderful person you are, whatever works. So that he can carry it through. Say, even when we're not in contact, I think of you, and I care for you, and that's not going away. You're always here, and I want you to know, I'm always here for you. I'm always in your heart. I'm there with you because I care, not because I'm watching over you, because that would be creepy. It's part of a midlife crisis that often we see that as the dominant one, although it can go either way, but that's how it felt when one person is using emotional blackmail. And in this case, she's the one even breaking up. He just has to figure it out himself. He has to have you step away. But, and this is really key, I just don't want him to think that you're gone, absolute void. And that's why I said, work on showing him the grace, the compassion, and that you are there. When you need me, I'm right here. Now, does that promote cake eating? Yeah, it does, but he's not a cake eater. So if they're not a cake eater, I like to get them to that point where they are almost cake eating. And then because it's a balancing act of giving enough. And then it's just, there's a tipping point where it becomes too much, and that's where we're at cake eating. But there's a point where it's not really cake eating. It's having needs met, emotional needs. And then they start to take advantage of it. So I don't think that cake eating is an issue. I would like him to get to a point where he's a little bit closer and almost wants to be that. Not that he thinks of it as cake eating in his mind, but where he feels that pull towards you, and he starts to contact you, but then you might even feel this is too much, but he needs you, and there's a needy need in there, and you can set a boundary. But at this point, I would rather him showing a need for you so that you can show what you have to offer in a way of meeting those needs. And that's in meeting the strong ones with strength, meeting it with a boundary that has love in it, that doesn't have her rejection, that doesn't have her come to me, go away, come to me, go away, but always accepting and embracing with love. But that doesn't mean allowing. So accepting is being an accepting person of what he's going through. Allowing means you don't allow abuse. You don't allow him to come to you and then start texting her, those sort of things. What you will allow, but you accept where he's at, and you accept it with love. And for you, you just have to step back and realize that you're not driving the ship. She's not driving the ship. He's not driving the ship. It's some, chaos is driving it. And when it gets to that point where he can't stand another minute, another day of life like this, that's when it is going to end. With my situation, I knew somebody had to end it, but that was because Chuck kept coming back to me and going to her, and I said, well, she's not going to stop this. She's going to keep letting him come, so I have to stop it. But he's not doing that part. There's not something that's concrete like that for you to stop. And so you just have to drop the rope and say, I trust you, and let him know, I trust you to figure this out. You and I both know she's not good for you. This is toxic, and I worry about you. But I can't fix it. You can fix it. You have the power to fix it, and I trust you. I want him to feel that trust, that faith, the trust that's a faith kind of trust. But only as much as you're able to give. You need to work on yourself first. Okay, so you need to find that balance. Okay, I hope this is helpful. I will see everybody in the next question.